Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Now, you've heard me talk about the potential tax hit to individuals receiving unemployment benefits, but I received a lot of comments to our earlier videos asking, why is this happening? Why are individuals facing such a huge tax bill? I dug deeper into this, and in this video, I'll tell you why millions of our fellow Americans will potentially owe thousands of dollars, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars in federal taxes on their unemployment benefits. I dug deeper into this, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. There are a lot of misconceptions, and that's what I want to try and clear in this article. It is unfortunate that many individuals will receive $1,400 stimulus checks and then use those stimulus checks to pay taxes on unemployment. When you think about it, this doesn't really make any sense. The government gives you unemployment, and then the government charges you taxes on unemployment. In this video, I'll dig deeper into why this is happening, why millions of our fellow Americans are going to face a huge tax burden. So let's just jump right in. Here's an article on your screen from the Washington Post, and as always, I'll provide you with a link to all our resources in the description section below. It just sucks. America's jobless owe thousands of dollars in taxes on their unemployment. Unemployment compensation is taxable. Now, the fact is, not a lot of individuals know that. Not every single person knows that, and many are just figuring this out as they sit down to do their 2020 taxes, even though they remain out of work. So think about this. You're out of work, you're sitting down to do your taxes, you've been dependent on unemployment, and now you find that the unemployment income was taxable and you have to pay the federal government taxes on money that was sent to you by the states. And in many cases, a lot of that money actually came from the federal government because the PUA program was instituted as a direct result of the federal government's actions in the CARES Act. The $600 a week booster came from the federal government. It's all taxable. The PEUC program, the 13-week extension to state unemployment benefits once your state benefits run out, that is all federally funded money. So the booster, the 13-week extensions, the PUA program, all of that is money that comes from the federal government through the states and then makes its way to you, and you're now required to pay taxes on that money back to the federal government. So why is all of this happening? I'm going to quote something significant from the article. For tax purposes, weekly unemployment payments, and again, this includes the booster, the current $300 a week booster, which is going to become $400 a week once the American Rescue Plan is signed into law. For tax purposes, weekly unemployment payments count as income just like wages from a job. But few people realize that the money they get from the government is actually taxable. Now, on top of that, this is where things get even more dangerous, if you will. Fewer than 40% of the 40 million unemployed workers in 2020. Now, when I say 40 million, it's not currently 40 million, but it has been 40 million when you consider everyone in aggregate, because some people sign up for unemployment, some people remain on unemployment, and others drop out of unemployment when they get a job. So fewer than 40% of the 40 million of our fellow Americans had taxes withheld from their payments. Now, you'll see a lot of comments in our community saying, hey, you should simply have the taxes withheld from the payment. So first of all, fewer than 40% of our fellow Americans actually did that, which means a majority, 60% of our fellow Americans did not think to have taxes withheld from their payments. Now, could this be because they didn't know? Or could it be because they just needed the cash and they would worry about taxes later? That's not the right question to ask. The right question to ask is, a majority of individuals on unemployment, are they now in a position where they owe the federal government taxes? And based on what I just told you, the answer is yes. 60% of our fellow Americans, or 40 million Americans who have been on unemployment in 2020, did not get taxes withheld from their unemployment payments. And now, let's say many of those individuals, and we do know, by the way, that approximately 14 to 15 million of our fellow Americans, depending on which statistic you're looking at, 14 to 15 million of our fellow Americans are still on unemployment. Imagine that you're in the majority of individuals who did not have taxes taken out, who did not have taxes withheld. Imagine you're still collecting unemployment, which means you don't have a job. Now you sit to do your taxes and you find that you owe the federal government money because your unemployment benefits were taxable. Now there was some hope. There were some senators, there were some lawmakers who tried to waive the taxation on unemployment benefits by the federal government, but unfortunately, that did not make its way into the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. I mean, think about this. They did everything. They left out this important component, which is going to affect millions of our fellow Americans. And I believe there should be money for retraining. And I do believe that the lack of money specifically for retraining is another big failure of the American Rescue Plan. I saw a comment saying, hey, states retrain individuals. I'm not talking about that. I'm First of all, states can barely keep up with their own unemployment programs, and the state programs for retraining are fragmented, in some cases non-existent. I'm talking about a powerful federal effort to retrain individuals who've lost their jobs permanently. A powerful federal effort like the $600 a week federal booster, like the $1,400 stimulus checks. So let's come back to the taxes. Among the unemployed, and this is a quote from the article, there was hope that Congress would eliminate taxes on unemployment income, but that provision did not make its way into the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan that the president is expected to sign in the next 2 weeks. Once it passes the Senate, once it goes back to the House with all of its changes, and then passes the House again. We are expected to see a lot of drama in the Senate in the next few days. I hope that one of the senators tries to introduce a waiver of taxes on unemployment benefits, but at this point, that does not exist. And as if this wasn't complicated enough, different states handle taxation on unemployment benefits in different ways. There are some states who do not tax income, but they tax unemployment benefits. Yes, you heard that right. So different states approach the taxation on unemployment benefits in different ways. I'll give you some examples. There are 9 states that do not have income taxes, but they do tax unemployment benefits. And there are 6 additional states that decided not to tax unemployment at the state level. This is big. There are 6 states that decided not to tax unemployment benefits at the state level. These states are Alabama, California, Montana, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. So again, that's Alabama, California, Montana, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. So again, they decided not to tax unemployment benefits at the state level, which I can tell you is going to be a welcome relief for the recipients of the unemployment benefits. Also, during the pandemic, there were 2 states, Maryland and Delaware. They decided temporarily not to tax unemployment. I'm talking about state tax on unemployment, but now they've started charging tax on unemployment. So now, in case you're wondering, oh boy, so I have to keep track of whether I pay the federal government taxes, which you are required to pay, and then on top of that, I may have to pay state income taxes, and that depends on my state. Yes, unfortunately, that's the truth. In case you're thinking, hey, why is it that the federal government is essentially giving me money, and in many cases, it's giving you money through the states with the new programs I mentioned. Some of the money could be coming from the states depending on which program you're in, whether it's a state program or whether it's a federal program through the state. But regardless, if you're thinking, hey, I'm getting the money from the federal government or the state, why do I have to pay taxes? According to this article in the Washington Post, unemployment insurance, which was created in the 1930s, was created as a safety net to help people out of work. For decades, the unemployment benefits were not taxed, but in the late 70s and the 80s, there was a big push to make unemployment benefits taxable. The theory was that if unemployment benefits are not taxable, are not taxed, individuals would be incentivized to not work. Also, the other theory was that if a rich person went on unemployment, then that person should pay his or her fair share of taxes. So what happened was that all unemployment benefits became subject to federal income tax by 1986. And since then, unemployment benefits have been subjected to federal income tax and state income tax, and that's where we are. So that was it, everyone. I hope you learned something new from this video. I'm trying to give you some context because I know this is a very challenging situation. You're asking yourself, am I paying taxes to the federal government and the state? Now, if you happen to be in one of the states that are not charging state income tax, that gives you a bit of a breather, but you still owe the federal government taxes on unemployment benefits since 1986 because of their theory. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I really appreciate you watching. please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. A lot of hard work goes into these videos, creating the content, using the references, providing you with the references in the description section below for every single video that we do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.